Last year, 22-year-old R&B singer Brent Faiyaz caught a break. He was featured on the song Crew, which ended up getting 67 million YouTube views and a Grammy nomination. A record deal would seem like the logical next step, and all the big labels, Atlantic, Interscope, and Epic, offered one. But Brent and his manager turned them down.
Well, I know the highest offer we got was kind of like a $250,000 advance, and it was like a $300,000 recording budget for album one. So when people say, well, industry standard for a new artist is a 18% royalty, and they're gonna say 18% royalty is very high, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, 18% out of 100?
What are you doing getting 82% of my music? You know what I mean? Like, that stuff just don't make no sense.
They began by incorporating Lost Kids, LLC, and investing $30,000 out of their own pockets to record Brent's debut album. They then went on a 3-month tour, using streaming data to guide the way.
Yeah, no, definitely. We need to know about all analytics, all data, because there has been several ladies that's found the music through Pandora.
In January, Brent made $25,350 from streaming on Spotify and Apple Music, which pay out $0.0035 of a dollar and $0.071 of a dollar, respectively. Time mines the data for those streams to find out exactly where and when a show will sell out, spending roughly $18 a day on ads targeted to those areas.
The data tells me what the demand is in the market. So I just know in certain markets how streaming correlates to like how many tickets I potentially can sell.
So I have to show that clip again. I showed it in like 2018 on my page. Clearly not enough people watched. Even if you find it on YouTube on the Vice channel, just not enough people watch it, period. That just goes to show that artists don't really want to understand the business. That's what it seems like to me. But shout out to Brent Faiyaz and his team for sticking it out independent and getting to a track with Drake. He just put out a track with Drake on Friday, and he literally surpassed GoldLink in demand and Shy Glizzy. I mean, if you just look at their Spotify numbers, and I don't want to go off just the Spotify numbers, but you look at Brent Faiyaz, he's got 10 million monthly listeners, GoldLink's got 5, Shy Glizzy's got like 1.7 million or something like that. But I want to break down sort of how they did it, even though you just kind of saw in the video. Check out the whole Vice thing. But let's talk about what they're really doing, because I talk about this all the time. Not only do I talk about it, this is the same strategy we're actually doing for our clients right now. Like understanding their data, building real data, and based on that, being able to sell tickets to shows, sell merchandise. That's literally what I just did in order to get my followers and people out to New York when I did my 2-hour live seminar before Enough and the Heavy Hitters did their show. So let me break down what's going on here. What's going on, guys? My name is Matei. Another day from Music Biz Daily. If you wait till the end of the video, I'll tell you everything that we have going on and how me and my team can help you. But let me get back to this topic of what Brent Faiyaz is doing. So as you notice, that song Crew, it was definitely big in 2017. It kind of blew up. It was a GoldLink song. It was on his album featuring Brent Faiyaz. He did the hook on it, and then Shy Glizzy was on one of the other verses. It did numbers, right? I think it did like 65 million views on YouTube. I don't know what chart position it had, but it's definitely a song that was on the radio nonstop for that time being, right? So after that success in 2018, early 2018, is when that Vice news clip came out, right? And since then, they've been sort of looking at their numbers, touring, building their audience and their brand little by little, until now he's got a song with Drake. But let's look at some of the, let's not deny the fact that he had the opportunity to be featured on such a major song. That was a huge bump, right? So for the artists that don't have a fortunate situation like that, you have to market your way to create a demand on that level. But let's also note that out of that demand that was created by that song, which was a huge fucking song, we have numbers that only allowed them to sort of fill out like smaller venues in the beginning. But that's the reality. That's realistically what happens, right? They put their money together. They got $30,000. They probably spend it on merchandise, obviously ads, because they mentioned they're spending $18 on ads before they hit a particular city by retargeting or targeting fans in a particular area that they got, from the analytics of Spotify, Apple Music, probably SoundCloud. They talked about Pandora. Just, anywhere they can get data from, they were analyzing it. They were then targeting the different locations by that demand. They were running ads there. They were able to do shows, sell a bunch of merch, and they were able to tour all around the US. Matter of fact, they had the opportunity to go to Europe, right? But the reality was that even as big as he was at that point, from that song, they were only making roughly $30,000 a month, and that's revenue. You know what I'm saying? It didn't say how much of that was spent on ads and touring and all of that, but that's awesome that they were able to do that per month. That's about, you know, $360,000 a year. And I know it's probably modest, or a lot of you guys think, well, some of these artists are making millions and all that, but that's awesome for a small business because they consider themselves a small business. Another point that I gotta talk about is when Brent Faiyaz's manager already had connections, by the way. You gotta do your research on this whole story, but his manager had connections. He did approach labels. He was able to get on the right doors. They did have multiple offers, and the highest offer they got, you heard him talking about it, was like $250,000 in advance, then another separate budget like $300,000 for a album, which we don't know if it's just the recording and the features and all that, or if any of that was marketing, or if marketing was separate. They didn't get into that, but 18% is what they were offering at the highest in terms of royalties. That was the highest, right? I've seen contracts where it was 12, 10. I've seen contracts that was nothing for the first 2 years because the artist was young. There really was no demand, but yes, there was a lot of talent, and that's what happens, but that's the reality. If somebody's gonna put up $500,000, $1 million behind your brand, and you don't have much of an audience yet, and you can only go to these smaller shows and only make like $5,000 here, $5,000 there, then, you know what I'm saying? How are you going to make that million back? There is a long road behind that. Things have to be done correctly, and that's the reality of how deals work. So you can't necessarily even be mad at a label that they're going to want to take 80% of it, because it's still a super high risk for them. And it's a high risk because if you as the artist and your manager don't act like business people and you're out there doing stupid shit, you could potentially make the whole ship sink in terms of business, because it's a matter of time before something bad happens or bad publicity comes your way and all of that, and all that investment can go to waste. And people don't talk about that, but this is a realistic way of what you could do. I just wanted to highlight it and highlight the fact that not enough people are watching that video, because see, I don't think independent artists really want to know how, or once they find out how much hard work it takes and what it really takes to get to the next level, they maybe just kind of want to ignore it because they think that buying fake views and all that is going to help them. And that's the last point I'm going to make before I end this video, is that if you're buying fake streams and fake likes and fake comments and fake followers, how can you ever retarget a location with listeners off of bullshit third-party Spotify playlists when these people aren't real? You're going to show up to Philly, but first of all, you're going to run ads to Philadelphia and find out that nobody's going to buy your tickets because you don't actually have real people listening there. So you're probably not even going to show up. But if you didn't even run ads and you just thought you had 10,000 people streaming in Philly because you got on some BS third-party playlist, and somehow they manipulate those numbers coming out of Philly, and you show up there, you're going to be, you're going to be horrifically surprised that nobody showed up, because you cannot do this with dirty data. That's what I call dirty data. And when you do things correctly for some time, and then you sort of get anxious and you just, impatient is the better word, and you get impatient and you flood your pages with BS data, you're ruining your ability to retarget, to sell tickets to tours, and to sell merchandise and all of that. I mean, I cannot stress that enough. So again, this is why I stress that understanding the business and being business oriented is super crucial. Marketing is even more crucial. And the data, the analytics, I hear a lot of marketers like, nah, it's just about the music, man. If it's the right music, even if your marketing strategy is not that great, it's gonna blow up. That is not true. The game is so saturated that you have to understand the marketing, and the analytics are crucial to any other business on this planet knows this, and they operate and make decisions off of data primarily. And that's the point I wanna leave you with. So that's it. If you guys want to know what me and my team do and how we can help you implement the same strategy, if you have the budget, make sure you follow me on Instagram, hit the link in my bio, and also make sure you join our Indie Artist Accelerator and join that, because if you're in the accelerator already, you would have known how to implement these strategies. That's it. Check me out weekly on Twitch with Clinton Sparks. On our segment called Music Biz Weekly, we drop gems about strategies like this in music business all the time. If you follow me on YouTube or watch this on YouTube, I appreciate you guys. Continue to leave comments, continue to give me feedback on the video. Like it, dislike it, I don't care, just give me some feedback. And let me know if you want me to cover any other topics. If I have the knowledge on it, I'll do it. If I don't, I'll do my research and I'll try to help you anyways. But for that reason, if you do ask a question, make sure you follow me or subscribe to my channel. Make sure you hit that notification icon so when I do answer your question, you get notified that the video dropped. And as always, I will see you guys tomorrow for another day of Music Biz Daily. Until then, peace.